What's up? How you doing? Here we are. Beautiful day today, but hot day. We're gonna cook some salmon. I'm gonna cook some salmon. Get that nice piece. Basic stuff. Olive oil. We have some organic capers, and we're going to use some of this Jacobson seasoning for seafood. I highly recommend it. Good stuff. Makes good stuff taste even better. So we have a beer here, very hot. Reminds me of Shawshank Redemption, when the warden, as a favor, gives the guys beers. Guess what they do, the roof or something up top with the tar. And I always remember that the beers were nice and cold. This is nice and cold. I pulled it out of the freezer. I had it in the fridge, and then I put it in the freezer for like 25 minutes. North Coast Brewing Company, Scrimshaw, almost like Shankshaw, Shawshank. I saw a video not too long ago where the guy claimed that pouring a beer like that is wrong, and the reason it's wrong is because you don't allow it to foam up and get rid of the gas before it gets into your belly. But I don't want a flat beer or a semi-flat beer. I want it to be that way. Yeah, he said pour it fast, let it foam up, and then that way when you drink it you don't get all this bloating. I don't get bloating because I don't drink that much. A little bit. That's perfect. I said yesterday that this was a 71 Camaro. It's not. That's incorrect. This is a 71 Trans Am Pontiac. And I don't know why I said Camaro. The Eagle is right there. And the lights and the, I mean, this is definitely a Trans Am, but I stand corrected. Somebody corrected me. So they're 100% correct on that. It's a 455. And I prefer the Trans Am. I always felt that the Trans Am had a cooler look, although the Camaros were, nice cars. I miss those cars in the old days. A lot of kids wanted to have a car like that. Me, I said before, I wanted to have a 1967 4-speed manual GTO Pontiac. That's what I want. Even the Judge, I would have taken that too. So, Trans Am. Cars had power back then, and they were roomy. I mean, in those days everybody's like, oh, it's a small car, Trans Am, because they were used to big station wagons. But these cars, they had room in them. My cousin had a 71 Camaro, a red one, and she let me drive it. Had a lot of power. Hers was a 350. But yeah, I stand corrected. I feel like in that movie with my cousin Vinny, when they made a mistake on the car, they brought in the fiancé to correct everyone. So, put some olive oil. Cold extraction on this olive oil and extra virgin. All right. Now, we will season. Put some power on this. All right. I will flip it and season the other side, but I don't eat the skin, so, but you know, flavors the oil. All right, pat it down. Wish I had a sink right here. Wash my hands with Dial, rinse them. All right, I think the oil's ready. Got the capers, the caper crusaders here. Yeah, it's a decent beer. Smells very nice, very good. So, anyway, like I said, very hot. And hot makes you tired, makes you slow. A couple of things here that I have. First, alright, we got it there. I love this album. One of my favorite albums, AC/DC Back in Black. This is an example of an album that I heard, and for the first listen, I loved it. You know, a lot of times you have to pick through an album and hear it a few times, and then your mind gets kind of, I don't know what it is. It acquires the sound and enjoys it more. At least for me. But this one here, right off the bat, thought it was an awesome album. So my mother had a friend, she still has this friend, and she had a son, still has a son, and he was down in the basement playing Atari. So I went down there to see what he was doing, and he was playing Space Invaders. You ever go to one of these kids' houses or homes in those days, and they were really good at a game, and it's dangerous job. And instead of letting you play it, they have to show you how good they are. So they keep going and going, and look at my score, and I don't care. That used to happen a lot. You go to somebody's house back then that had a game, and they wouldn't let you play. They wanted to show you how good they were. I'm like, I don't care how good you are. You want to let me play? So anyway, I went over his house, and we played Atari, and then about an hour after that, he says to me, hey, you want to hear this new album I got? And I said, yeah, sure. So we went upstairs, and he pulled out a cassette, and he put it in, and he had nice speakers, his father did. Press play, and I was blown away. I said to myself, oh, it's going to be one of those albums where I'm not going to really like it, because it's my first time listening. And he put it in, and I thought it was awesome. I mean, this Back in Black, #1 song there, Hell's Bells. I remember him playing that. Shoot to Thrill, Give the Dog a Bone, What Do You Do for Money, Honey, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution, Let Me Put a Little Love Into You, You Shook Me All Night Long, another awesome song. Shake a Leg, Have a Drink on Me. Every song on this album is a gem, every song. They were on a hot streak. Gotta flip them over now. Yeah, perfect. So the skin peels off. I don't mess with the skin there. I don't, unnecessary. So yeah, I was blown away, and to this day, I enjoy listening to AC/DC. The guitar work on that album is exceptional. I wish I had seen him live. I remember when that came out, I was thinking, does that singer, Brian Johnson, does he actually speak like that? Does he have a voice that sounded? No, he does not. Does not. Had to take some time off, had issues, I don't know if with his hearing or something was going on. But I think he's back now, and they can get rid of Axl Rose. And by the way, Illusion 1 and 2, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, awesome albums. Awesome albums. Appetite for Destruction, awesome album. He had a different sound back then, and a different creativity power that I think he's lost over the years. I think the voice is different. He even looks like a different person. And finally here, I got a brand new one. I said this yesterday, but so I'm a huge Paul Simon fan. Go way back with Simon and Garfunkel. Love the album of Kodachrome. You know, Rhythm of the Saints. But I mean, just talented guy beyond belief. I mean, lyrically, musically, and great acoustic guitar player. You know, and he's got those little baby doll hands, but like, he could play the guitar, the plucking, which is the hard, you know, part, not the strumming. Strumming, you know, I mean, you can teach people 4 or 5 chords, but the strumming, I mean, the finger picking, a lot of coordination there. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see if I can get this side a little bit. So anytime there's an announcement or, you know, anything where they say Paul Simon is working on a new album, I come alive. You know, I get all his stuff. And the past few things that he's released, you know, the re-recording of some of his old stuff, I was not really fascinated with that. I bought it, listened to it a bunch of times, but I'm looking for new material, and this is it right here. So Paul Simon, have not unwrapped it yet. So there are 7 songs here. I prefer 10, but since he titled it 7 Psalms, then that's what it is. So I'm dying to hear this. I hope it's good. And you know, he's one of the artists, when they say that he's got an album coming out, I'm, you know, on fire. All right, I'm gonna go get a plate, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Got the lemon here. Got the salmon. Cut that down. Love the lemon. All right. We see how the fish turned out. Delicious. That is delicious. Wow. So tender. That turned out so good. That's a good fish. So tender. Some capers. Love the capers. Wow. I can't even describe how delicious that is. It's like eating dessert. So I'm looking forward to hearing the Paul Simon album, and I want to be surprised there. I want to hear something really awesome on it. And he's retiring now from touring. I don't know if he's done already, but you know, I wanted to see him. But you know, when I was younger, I didn't care where I sat. I mean, I wanted to be in the front, but that was hard. But as long as I was in the building, I was happy. Now, if I'm gonna go see a concert, I want to be close. I don't want to have binoculars on me. I don't want to be like that scene from Godfather 3 where they have those eyeglasses at the opera there at the show. I don't want that. I want to be like right close by. You know, I want to see them like I see, you know, my kids in the living room close. Otherwise, I'm not interested. I mean, I'll get the concert on DVD or something. I remember, what was it, 80, 81? Probably 80, but could have been 81. Paul Simon, Art Garfunkel had that concert, Central Park, Central Square. New York, 500,000 people showed up. And they made an album out of it, which I have somewhere. I also feel that way with U2 when they announce something. I'm waiting for it. Although lately, you know, I bought the thing they released, was it last year? But all it was a remake. It was a remake of the old stuff. They re-recorded it differently. That was alright, but I'm looking for new material. I mean, I appreciate when they do that. Like if some of my favorite musicians released remixed versions of their songs, but good remixes, not some nonsense where it sounds like, you know, a lot of repeating and a lot of just bass sounds or whatever. I'm talking about a remix where you hear it and you go, yeah, that's an improvement. For example, Dexy's Midnight Runners, which now is just Dexy's and not running anymore. So they re-released, remastered, remixed Come On Eileen, which is one of my favorite songs. I love that song. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was listening to it all day. But the remixed version, it's got more power to it, you know. You can hear, if you side-by-side comparison, you can tell. But I always loved that song. Even the old version to me was great. So that's an example where they took an old song, remixed it, and made it even better. But sometimes they remix, and you want to tell them keep the original. There's a reason why they mix it that way. I wonder what Neil Diamond is doing these days. Fan of Neil Diamond, you know. My favorite Neil Diamond song is Forever in Blue Jeans. When that song came out, I couldn't stop playing it. Musically, lyrically, it's a great song, and the way he sings it. I even saw that movie that he was in, Jazz Singer. Love on the Rocks. Man, this salmon is too good. Going home to his mom. I knew this kid one time. Eat some more of these. I could probably eat the whole jar. But I knew this kid one time. We were out in West LA, and he bought a Volkswagen Beetle. This was years ago, many years ago, in the 90s, and so he parked it somewhere, and I see him coming towards me, and he goes, "You got a wrench on you?" I said, "No." I go, "What do you need?" He goes, "My steering wheel came off the column, unscrewed or something." And he goes, "Luckily I was pulling in and it came off. Otherwise, imagine being on the highway, your steering wheel comes off." I guess you could still drive it as long as you keep it tight. But it came off, and then I went and found him a wrench. Put it back on. I've driven in cars like that, but I've never driven a car like that. I had a neighbor when I was little. She had a red one. I mean little. And one day she was going grocery shopping, and she goes, "You want to come with me?" And I said, "Sure." And she goes, "Go ask your mother if it's okay." And I was like, "Just take me and I'll come back and she won't even know I was gone." But I was little. I'm talking like, you know, around 4 years old, maybe even younger a little bit. So I went. I don't know if I pretended to ask. I think I did ask. And my mother said, "Go." So I went to the supermarket, and this neighbor of mine had a little thing she would do with me. She would give me these I don't know what they were called back then. They were cupcakes, but they were like a pinkish color with like little white, almost like coconut shavings. And every time I'd see her, she'd say, "Do you want one?" I'd say, "Sure." She'd give me one. So we went shopping. She did all the grocery shopping, And then at the end we got to the last aisle, and right at the top of the last aisle were these muffin things, and she says, "You want one of those?" And I said, "Sure." So she grabbed it off the top there, and she gave it to me, and she paid for it. I didn't run off with it. And then she moved away to another neighborhood. And about 8 years passed from the last time I'd seen her. And one day I was down in front of my house with my father, and I saw the car coming. It wasn't the car, she pulled up right in front of us, and she rolled down the window, and I saw it was her. And she said hi to us and everything, and she talked to us for a few minutes, and she left, and that was it. Never saw her again. Now, if she were alive today, she would be like 105. So chances of that are low. Delicious. That was really good. Yeah, I don't eat the skin. Unnecessary. So I have a little kitten that shows up, and then last night I came out here. It was like 1:30 in the morning. I turned on the lights, came out here, and I look over. I saw like a little shadow down there by the corner, and I went a little closer, and I noticed that the cat was out, just sitting there. But I did put a bunch of food and get the water on everything. But it comes, visits me, and never comes too close though, because it's still a wild cat. It comes, visits me. In the morning it was here. I got up early today. It was outside. I looked, there's the cat. All right, that's it. I'm up against the clock. I gotta be on my way now and continue on with the rest of the day. But very hot today, very hot. All right, ciao.